Welcome back to Gospel Glimpse, where our epic journey through the book of Genesis is drawing to a close. We've witnessed creation, family rivalries, and an incredible story of betrayal and forgiveness. Now, the final act is here. It's a time of peace, of farewells, and of profound blessings. Today, we'll see a loving father and son reunited, a family finally at rest, and a final, powerful promise that echoes through history. Get ready for the final, emotional conclusion of the life of Jacob and Joseph after their tear-filled reunion. Joseph sent a message to his father, Jacob, inviting him to come to Egypt. The Pharaoh himself gave the invitation, providing wagons and provisions to bring Jacob and his entire family, 70 people in total, to the land of Goshen, the best land in Egypt. And so, the family that had endured so much hardship and separation was finally reunited in a land of safety and abundance. When Jacob, now old and weary, finally stood before Pharaoh, the great ruler asked him, "How old are you?" And Jacob replied, "The years of my pilgrimage are 130. Few and hard have been the years of my life." He had finally found rest. Years passed, and Jacob grew very old. He knew his time on earth was coming to an end. He summoned his beloved son, Joseph, and made him promise not to bury him in Egypt. He wanted to be buried back in the land of Canaan, with his ancestors, Abraham and Isaac. In the very cave where the divine promise had first been given, the tone becomes more emotional and ceremonial. Next, he summoned all of his 12 sons to his bedside, one by one. He gave them his final blessings, each a unique and prophetic glimpse into their futures and the tribes that would spring from them. He spoke of strength and weakness, of leadership and division, and of God's hand on each of their destinies. He blessed them all, with Judah receiving the most powerful promise of all, that from his lineage would come the ruler, the one who would gather the nations. After his final words, Jacob gathered his feet into the bed, breathed his last, and was reunited with his ancestors. Joseph and his brothers mourned for their father for many days. Then, honoring his final wish, they carried Jacob's body on a grand procession back to the land of Canaan and buried him with his fathers. Even after their father's death, Joseph's brothers were still afraid. They worried that Joseph, no longer bound by his love for their father, would finally take his revenge. They sent a message to him saying, "Your father gave this command before he died. You are to forgive your brothers for the wrong they did to you. So please forgive the sin of the servants of the God of your father." But when Joseph received their message, he wept. He told them, once more, "Don't be afraid. Am I in the place of God? You intended to harm me, but God intended it for good to accomplish what is now being done, the saving of many lives. So then, don't be afraid. I will provide for you and your children." His forgiveness was complete, and his brothers were finally at peace. Many years later, Joseph too grew old. He lived a long and prosperous life, seeing his great-grandchildren. As he was about to die, he gathered his family around him. His last words were not about his wealth or his power. They were about a promise. "I am about to die," he said, "but God will surely come to your aid and take you up from this land to the land he promised on oath to Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. And when you go, you must carry my bones with you." And with that final act of faith, trusting in God's promise to his people, Joseph died. They embalmed his body and placed him in a coffin in Egypt, waiting for the day when his people would return home. And so concludes the book of Genesis. A journey from creation to a family in a coffin, waiting for the promise to be fulfilled. The deaths of Jacob and Joseph are not tragic endings, but moments of profound faith. They show us that our story is always part of a larger one, and that even in death, God's promises live on. What do you think was the most powerful lesson in this final chapter of Genesis? Was it Jacob's prophetic blessings, Joseph's complete forgiveness of his brothers, or his final act of faith? Let us know in the comments below. Our journey through the Bible is far from over. Next time, we move to the book of Exodus, where the family of Jacob has become a nation, and a new leader, Moses, is about to be called to lead them out of slavery. How will God's promise to Abraham be fulfilled? And who is this new leader that will speak to God face to face? Don't miss the beginning of an epic new adventure. Make sure to like this video, share it with others, and subscribe to Gospel Glimpse for more incredible Bible stories brought to life. Hit that notification bell so you don't miss our next installment. Thank you for watching. And we'll see you in Exodus.